Hi everybody, Casey Zander here. I'm making this video today to show you the one thing that all women know about men. And the type of men that I'm going to be talking about today would be 99%ers, most guys who don't have very much self-control, guys who lead life on their impulses, and ultimately I'm going to be showing you how this one thing, if you continue to choose to live like this, is going to hold you back. This might be one of the biggest, most impactful videos I've ever made, and if you stay with me until the end, rest assured you're going to look at life, relationships, female nature, communication, and everything completely different. So with that said, let's dive in. The number one thing that all women know that men cannot do, okay, they know deep down, the number one thing that 99% of guys have zero S3 actual control, okay? Let that sink in for a second. I want you to take a look at all of your past interactions, all of the past relationships that you've had. I want you to look at how you've potentially lived your life before you've came to these realizations. And I want you to ask yourself why you've lived a certain way and why you've done some of the things that you've done. Now, what I mean by this, I took notes on this entire thing because I want to make sure that this is impactful. Most men, okay, men will do and say things just to get a small chance at possibly things leading into the bedroom intimately. What this also means too, if you look at this on a deeper level, is guys will oftentimes put up with the worst behavior, okay? The worst behavior possible out of the women that they are dating or out of their relationship that they're in, out of the companion that they're seeing. They will put up with the worst behavior. They will tolerate the worst things. They will tolerate things that they know on a deep level not only make them angry, but ultimately are wrong. They will tolerate that just from the fear of losing out on potential intimacy. Now, what this really stems into is how high of value guys prioritize S3X. You have to just think about in ways this controls you. Think about the ways that this controls maybe the dirty websites that you see. Think about the ways that this controls some of the subscriptions to maybe some of the women in the past you've subscribed to. Think about how this maybe interacts with your brain when it goes to the way that you check out Instagram, you check out the Explore feed, you're looking at certain curves, certain shapes, certain figure. You are controlled psychologically by shape and by beauty, okay? And because that controls you, it turns you into just a fraction of the type of guy that you could be, the type of man that you should be, the type of man with rock solid masculine conviction, okay? Now, the only way to actually live life the way that I'm talking about is it requires a paradigm shift. It requires you to take a look at your outside. It takes a strong ability to look at your outside interactions, okay? Look at the ways and at the relationships that you've had in the past. Everybody to some degree, whether they are good at dating or bad, whether they are good at attracting women or not, majority of men think that they have that under control and they think that they know exactly what to do. And I challenge you to this. The only way to truly get this point across is to understand and open up to the possibility that the way you've lived may not be correct. Your deepest, most held beliefs might actually be wrong. And that's very hard for anybody to do, and that's hard for any guy to do at any age, but especially it gets harder as you get older. As you get older, you solidify a way of life. You solidify a way you think, you solidify a way that you operate. I challenge you to do this. Have the maturity to look at another person's thought process and analyze, hey, maybe this belief system or this belief set serves me better. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you're in business, right, a lot of you guys know that I have this new business channel. It's called Zander Consulting. You can subscribe to it below. I want to mention it in a lot of videos. Basically, guys, okay, think about this. In business, there's a lot of business owners, and since they live life with ego and since they live life thinking that they know everything, they refuse to take any outside opinion. They refuse to take any outside, they refuse to actually get help from people at a higher level than they are. They don't have mentors, okay? So 99% of businesses do under $1 million a year. If you come across a guy who has a $10 million, $20 million a year business, you would be surprised the amount of people that will not take advice from that person because they think that, hey, maybe, they're in a different industry or they brush past some of the things that they've done. Their deepest held beliefs is what actually keeps them stuck. Your deepest held beliefs probably actually keep you stuck, which means I'm going to show you this paradigm shift that you have to have on a deep level in order to win. Number one, you have to accept the fact that women crave relationship boundaries set by a man. Think about that. Crave them on the deepest level. Most guys are too scared to have any boundaries verbally expressed. Okay? Which means they tolerate bad behavior. Their woman that they're dating is posing specific ways, gaining attention through her body on Instagram, maybe promoting certain things S3 actually. Okay? You're going to see oftentimes the guy have no relationship boundaries at all. Like, yeah, you can just go out till 2 a.m. and get hammered. You can just go out till 2 a.m. and do whatever, and I'll still date you. I'll still be right here. Well, you can just come home to me at any time. This is how they think. Okay? And because of that, majority of women today are actually craving structure. They're craving like the raw masculine like boundary that a guy can set. Like, hey, this is how we're going to run the relationship. This is how it's going to be. If you don't like it, well, there's a sea of 99% of other guys. Go choose from them. Most guys can't do that. So you have to actually set a boundary. You have to actually set a rock solid boundary of like, this is how we're going to do things. This is how I want to do things. This is how it's going to do things what's best for us. If you don't like it, there's the door. And there's thousands, probably even millions of other dudes who will live life your way if you'd like it. And you know what will happen 9 times out of 10? Is that woman will not walk out the door because you're the only one who is willing to set a boundary and actually be the type that is willing to do so. Regardless of looks, regardless of beauty, regardless of any of that, you are willing to do so. And that is one of the most rawest forms of attraction possible. Number 2, women want to enter your frame, so make it happen. There's nothing more attractive to a woman than when she can enter a man's frame and how he lives, how he acts, how he operates. So with that said, here's what I can tell you. It took me a long time when I was younger to actually look at this. It took me a long time for this one mental mindset shift to actually happen. And the mental mindset shift was like, women actually like men. Interesting. They actually like them. They like how they are. They like that they're opposite. They like that they're different. It's the polarity that makes the attraction. So I'll give you some examples. A lot of guys, when they're raised that the feminine way of thinking is ultimately correct. Okay, and I know I was like this too. Okay, and when I was in young, elementary, middle school, you start to think that like the way even schools and stuff operate, you think that the feminine way of thinking is correct. So what that means is like, I remember when I was young, if I looked at a really pretty girl, I would want to look away right away because I'm like, man, I'm not good enough to even make eye contact. Things like that. Right? Or maybe like I noticed that, maybe I know a lot of guys struggle with this when they're first understanding this too, is like their voice is a lot deeper, but because the girls that they talk to isn't, obviously, right? Their voice is more high pitched. The guy will naturally heighten the pitch of his voice because he thinks that way of doing it is correct. And it leads them to totally basically turn, like it doesn't work. And then they wonder why they don't have any dating success. So you have to understand, women actually like men, okay? Like, and because of that, you just have to do what you know in your heart of hearts is correct. And if you can do that, a lot of times you have the dating success that you want. So how do you do this? Well, number one, you have to stop pedestalizing S3X. That means that can't be at the forefront of how you live your life. Because if that's at the forefront of how you live your life, you're going to tolerate things. You're going to tolerate behavior, oftentimes from women that don't serve you in the relationship the way that you'd probably like to be, like, with the level of companion that you'd like to actually have. You have to stop putting that on the pedestal. And when you do, you actually free yourself from the slavery that typically controls you, whether that be lust or that be beauty, that be shape, that be figure. What you need to do as you're removing that mindset process is you have to make yourself irreplaceable. Okay? Completely irreplaceable. What does that mean? That means that if the woman were to walk out the door and leave you, it's going to be extremely hard for her to replace you. That's why there really is no greater thing than chasing your own success, building your body from the ground up, improving your verbals and your communication skills, right? Chasing excellence. When you craft yourself to such a degree, it's going to be very, very hard for you to be replaced. And what do we know? Like, look at business, look at supply and demand, right? If demand increases, cut supply. So when there's short supply, there's high demand. naturally. If you're a guy in demand, man in demand, if you will, okay, there's a low supply of you. That is going to create value, okay? That's what improves value. Think of it that way. So when you make yourself irreplaceable, the only way to do this is to be willing to walk away. If you're never willing to walk away in the relationship, no matter what, that means you have weak boundaries. Your boundaries are malleable, they're not structured, and who you are is not probably correct to carry that relationship. And what will happen is you'll probably get dumped, heartbroken, left, or cheated on. Last but not least, okay, don't let your time investment stop you from walking. Here's what I see time and time again. I see guys in 1-year relationships, 2-year relationships, 5-year relationships, 10-year marriages, things like that, and the behavior is so bad from the companion that they're with. But because the time investment is so long, the guy invested so much time, he wants to make it work so much, he has this mental preconceived notion that if he just tries a little harder, or if he just tries a little different, that other person will change and things will be smooth. That will keep you stuck year after year after year after year, and it will never be fixed. Like, your time is everything, okay? And it's better to cut your losses, find new companions that suit your life better. And even if that person was great in the beginning, long term you see what really happens and who they truly are, and because of that you have to be willing to walk. Do not let your time investment that you put in the beginning affect how you make your decisions later on. If you've came this far in the video, not only do I hope that you have this paradigm shift, it sticks with you for the rest of your life, but there's a few things I want to run by you. Number one, we're closing down the Masculinity Blueprint Accelerator enrollment when we hit 2,000. Right now I'm enrolling anywhere from 4 to 6 people per day. So because of that, we only have around 180 seats left. At the end of Q2, when we hit that number, we are capping this enrollment, and that's going to be the community. So I highly recommend grabbing a seat below if there's still some available by the end of this video. Number two, if you're wanting to work one-to-one with me, we do have a few spots open. I consult a small group of men each month in a one-to-one format for the men's full stack 1%er program. You can go down below, you can book a call for that. Okay, we have also created a Patreon. Okay, I take you behind the scenes at how I've crafted my personality to help grow this YouTube channel to over 300,000 subscribers, and I give you behind the scenes information that I do not and cannot share on this channel. I recommend checking that out, and there's so many more things that I can do to actually help you. So because of that, check out all of the links below. You're going to be very, very satisfied. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.